14th session with me, Elk, alongside the Avenger, only one. That's Keelan Phillips. Keelan, I know you really don't want to talk about it, but the final of the President's Cup, that was Bulls versus Pinelands. There's something I want to say before we get to that, though.
Yeah.
Remember last episode we talked about the efficiency of or the inefficiency of Pinelands.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, they have been very good at from three. Actually, their percentages be up from three. They shot something like 43% from three against I think that was Celtics. And last night in the final, they shot 37%. So they really up their percentages. The 2-point percentage though went down, but as you know, you add an extra point if your 3-point percentage is went up. So that is where it happened. But let's talk about last night. I thought that was the worst game shooting wise for Bulls. Their percentages from three was 20%, and from two was barely over 40. They shot 100% from the free throw line though. They didn't miss any free throws.
Yeah.
But they got behind by as many as 27.
Yeah.
And it all happened in the third quarter, I think. Like second part of the third quarter. So, yes, what was your opinion? I know that you are not on this bandwagon, this President's Cup bandwagon, but you gotta talk about it.
Yeah, no, it's funny. As you, the first one that you made about their 3-point percentage going up, three is more than two. So even if two going down, three going up, yeah. The Pinelands being efficient at three is the league's worst nightmare because they already shoot the most, and then but the thing that you could maybe not hang your hat on, but like say, okay, the reason why they're not just the greatest team ever is because they weren't shooting it at the most efficient clip. But now if they can shoot it at the most efficient clip, that is definitely a problem. I thought that up until in the first half, right? I thought Bulls and Pinelands, it was close. Because I mean, Bulls were only down 5 at half. The one glaring issue, it was, in my opinion, and we even spoke about it at halftime, the offensive rebounds. At halftime, I think Bulls only had 6 offensive rebounds and Pinelands had like 17, right? So that there in itself, but if you're Bulls, you could say, all right, they had that many offensive rebounds. You only down 5, right? If you could cut down on that, and obviously going forward, that didn't happen, obviously. And in the third quarter, Pinelands just took the game over. Bulls were a little, in terms of defensive communication, we were a little off there. As you said, it was our worst shooting game from three. And actually, what you can say and what I actually did realize is that in the President's Cup, we didn't really shoot the ball as well as we did during the first round, right? Especially against Cavs. Obviously, Cavs is a tough a defensive team, and against Pine, the percentages weren't like they were in the first round. It was still solid, but not league leading like it was before. Pine, Rashi had a very good game. He had 30 points. Darren had, not finals MVP, regular season MVP Darren, but 16, 7, and 8 would definitely get the job done. He only had two turnovers. So Sim had 22 points and 10 rebounds, but a lot of those points kind of came late. When the game was kind of already out of hand, to be honest. The score is not really a good indicator of how it got out of hand. It only said a 15-point loss, but as you said, at one point, we were down 26-27. So credit to Pinelands for sure. I know I tired of seeing them taking pictures after games also. So you gotta do something about that. Somebody got beat up. So
Well, my thing is, if you want to stop them taking pictures from at the end of the game, you need to stop it again.
I
Um,
agree.
I saw that you got in port. Caleb
Yeah,
Gaskin played with you for that game. He
yeah.
didn't shoot the ball relatively well, and he turned it over well, more than a couple.
Mhm.
Um, he turned it over, I think, 5 times or something like that.
Yeah,
But I think he is a good addition. Somebody coming off the bench, another
yeah,
guard. I would like to see how he looks playing defensively because that was always his Achilles heel. We always thought he could play, but defensively he was not as aggressive as you would like. But he's still about 17 years old.
yeah. Still
So
very young. Still
right,
learning.
so he still got some ways to go. But that is a good addition for the
I
rest of
agree.
the season. I think if you look at the scoring, all the scoring came from the two Hurleys and Maynard.
Yeah,
Because Zarian Adams only scored 8. He
yeah,
had 4-16.
yeah.
I
He had an off
I
game.
hope
Yeah,
that he is fully fit because he had a back issue late last year, and I hope that is not coming back to haunt him or he has the issue with it again.
I think he
But
played well during the Bajan Scout so far. I obviously this is my opinion. I just think that might have been just a bad game.
bad game. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just a
Well,
bad game.
I am just he's a guy that usually plays his best game, when the marbles are on the line. And
Yeah,
I
it's true.
find it fairly difficult that he had such a bad game. He shot 25% from the field. So
Yeah,
I'm saying, I only hoping that it's just a bad game and that it's not like pick up an injury or anything.
but as well.
But kudos to Pinelands. You cannot understate their dominance. This is like the fourth or fifth cup in a row. And we have to decide. Well, the Premier League has to decide if they want Pinelands keep taking the cups. If they do, then continue doing what you're doing. But if you don't, you need to step up. And stepping up meaning that the team that wins, that beats Pinelands, is the team that handle the initial pressure and had bench production. If you don't do those two things, Pinelands will beat you every time.
Yep.
Because if you don't handle the pressure, they can blow up in the game and they'd have little coming from the bench. So they expect what they do is try to overrun you by their starting five. Just do you up, and if you can't handle, then they'll just run you off the court. So that is a little analysis there for the people who wants to beat Pinelands, people looking to beat Pinelands. And right now, though, we can look at the preview of the second half of the season. And this is the second half of the Premier League. What do you think going into the second half? Lakers have already got blown out by Cavaliers, and I think the Schoolboys already got past Spartans.
Spartans, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen in this second half? That will be different than the first half.
Honestly, I think it might be mainly the same. I think the only difference is that obviously Bulls me being part of Bulls. I think the only difference is that I think Bulls probably may beat Cavs this time. They have to play them on Thursday after playing them 2 times in the President's Cup. Their run still isn't back yet, so I think Bulls have a chance to really. It was a close game the first time that they played. That was the second game of the season, so I believe Bulls have a chance to win there. Celtics may have a chance to also beat Cavs. Their match was close up until kind of like the end of the of the fourth quarter. So I will hold that they will try to, obviously improve and try to beat them. So, but in terms of the standings, I don't think it's gonna really make much of a difference because Bulls beating Cavs only means that what Bulls will then be the 2 seed, and the 2 and the 3 play the same people.
And 2 and
So
3
really,
players, so it will be the same thing.
yeah. So like, and I think because Celtics lost 3 games in the first round, right? So and Cavs only lost 1, so they would have to hold that they beat Cavs, Bulls beat Cavs, and then Celtics also beat Bulls, right? So that's the only way that like a slate can happen where where Cavs drop to the 4 seed, right? That's the only way that I would think. So other than that, I think it's probably going to mostly be the same. The bottom 4, I think that order is pretty much going to be the same. I think for the size, maybe the Bulls and Cavs and Celtics and Cavs, I think most of the matchups are pretty much going to be the same. The results, sorry.
Yeah, I tend to agree. The only issue is if somebody get injured and one of the top players get injured and put you on a little bit of stress. But I tend to agree that it will remain the same. The bottom 4 though, I'm just a little, what would I say? I'm just a little worried about the league if you will have such a disparity between the top 4 and the bottom 4. Because Lakers was 5th with 2-5 record.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they have no chance to get any playoffs from here. Unless one of those teams implode. Probably Celtics implode.
It will have to be Celtics.
Right.
Yeah.
Celtics implode and they play really well. And they already lost the game in the second round. But of course they lose it to a team above them, which is the Cavs.
Yeah.
I always look at teams that play good defense to be there and thereabouts. Cavs play really good D. They play really aggressive. So they will be there and thereabouts. Their main issue is if they can't force turnovers and get any open floor and get some easy baskets.
Yeah.
I think they're shooting. I don't know if they got enough offense to beat a Pinelands or beat a Bulls unless they really play a good night. Right?
And a series is pretty tough. Yeah.
Yeah, but defensively they're top notch. Yeah. I think they're probably like the best defensive team in the
they are.
Right. So defensively, they will need to deal with their issues as it relates to scoring.
Yeah.
The bottom 4 though, to me, Spartans look on their way to Division 1. The Schoolboys, they're still really inconsistent, but they're trying their best. Warriors, I was pleasantly surprised how Warriors was playing. I know they were playing a decent in the first couple of games, but they seem to have some issues because they see some players missing in a couple of games. I don't know if they're hurt or if they're hurt physically or if they're just feelings get hurt. But I see them missing a couple of players. But I would think that their job is to really stay up this toss and hope to solidify their position come next time. Lakers have been the biggest disappointment in the league. I think they have decent players, but they don't. I don't know if they can. I don't see them pushing the envelope that to a point where they should be in. I keep saying all the time they lose a lot of their games in husbands, and there's no shortcuts to success. Success is about work, and the only place to see success before work is in dictionary. So if you don't put in the work, you will be found wanted. I am from the school that I don't care if you have Jokic and Giannis. If you don't put in that work, you will not
It's not gonna work.
It's not going to work.
Like for example, even in the NBA, 2 great players, Dame and Giannis, they were put together, but at first it seemed like they were struggling. So you still need hard work and still need to like work at it. Just having names of others is not gonna
Yeah, and I think that's where they lose their they're losing the thing, but nothing is written in stone. You never know this basketball, and if Lakers could get themselves together and start putting that work, they got enough quality players that they can make some noise in the second round. So it's up to them. But right now, this is the end of the BBA preview, and we will be joined by none other than the Bajan Scout Alan Pinder. Alan is here, the Bajan Scout. That is him. And Keelan, we discussing something about referees at some point. And we talking about referees in BBA, but let's move to the referees in the NBA first. The BBA referees might get me in a little bit of trouble. You in big trouble. Me, they just cut that at me because I really Yeah, Alan.
Definitely.
The NBA referees, you really feel the NBA got a problem with officiating?
Yeah, I think they have a little bit of refereeing problem too. Not as bad as people are probably saying, but they definitely do have a little bit of a refereeing problem. I think with the last 2-minute report, without coming out highlighting the issues, particularly in the games, I think it has. I think there's two main issues. One, they're calling marginal contact more often than they should be. If you look at the Indiana Pacers game with the Boston Celtics early in the year, you had it on 2 consecutive possessions. You had Buddy Hield blocking Jaylen Brown's shot. He barely touched his head. It was marginal contact, but the referees believe it so. But Indiana had a challenge, so that was overturned. The next possession, Bennett Mathurin goes to a 3-point shot. There's marginal contact again with him and Kristaps Porzingis. The referee blows the whistle again. So I think if they cut down some of these marginal contact calls, I think that also went into a bit with the Jalen Brunson foul that was called in the Houston Rockets game against Aaron Holiday. The referees are assuming this marginal, sometimes even non-contact, and assuming that basketball is no longer a contact sport and no one should be touching anybody at any point in time. I think if they cut out some of that marginal contact, it will be a little bit easier because it then has a flip effect where players see marginal contact called on one end and know they want it called on the other end. And it's just a lot of back and forth and the club will complain about inconsistencies and whatnot. So I think they need to address that. The other issue, I think, is they probably need to expand the replay system. Because on the other end, you have superstar calls and the opposite end, which you would have seen with the Pistons and the Knicks, where a rookie does not get any calls, is not capable of getting calls. Dante DiVincenzo basically dives and tackles Ausar Thompson. It's a clear foul. It happens right in front of the referee. He has a clear sight line of it and chooses to swallow his whistle. So it's a little bit strange that you're willing to call tap fouls, but because it's a foul on a rookie, it's like, okay, well, this probably actually didn't happen. And I can't believe my eyes on what happened here just now. So, but they can't challenge a non-call. So I think if they expand the replay system where some of these really obvious egregious calls in any games can be somehow challenged, I know they don't want to have too much instant replay in the system because it slows down the game too much. But yeah, I think it's something the competition committee needs to look at. That's where they get paid the big dollars for. So yeah, a little bit of refereeing problem. But the good thing is this improves a lot in the playoffs because the best referees referee in the playoffs, and you don't usually tend to have as many of these issues. The games are more physical all of a sudden. But I don't think it's all of a sudden. It's just that these ticky-tack calls that the not so great refs are calling, you better refs know it's marginal contact or letting it go.
Well, I have something to tell you, Alan. I feel the 2-minute report is as useless as the B in debt. Because telling me that I get a foul and the game already gone and you know I already lost the game and I go on through the tunnel pissed off and that sort of stuff. I mean, to me, give me a 2-minute report don't really mean anything. I want you to clear up when it's out, when it's it really out there. So Keelan, I know you're an officiating. I know how officiating is for especially players in Barbados. So tell me, you think the NBA has a problem?
Yeah. Kind of along the same lines as Alan. I don't think it's as horrible as you know social media makes it out to be. But yeah, it is a problem. Now, I've never agreed with anything more than that statement about the 2 minute report. Why is it there? How does it help you? If anything, I'm angrier. What
Yeah.
is why do you set up this report for again that we can't change? Like
Yep.
the Knicks protested. They said a protest for the game where not the Knicks, sorry. I think it was the Pistons or whatever, or one of the is that
Yep,
the Pistons or the
it was the
Knicks?
Knicks against us,
In
against
the
the same.
Knicks
Yeah,
against
the
they
Rockets.
say
Yeah.
in a report, sorry, a protest for the fact that the referees, mind you, the referees came out after and say, yeah, it actually was not a foul, and that pretty much caused it again. They protested it and still didn't get it. Like there was evidence. The referee said it was my bad, and the protesters still did it. So the 2 minute report is literally useless. If that is gonna happen and you're gonna protest and not get through, just leave it alone. As Alan said, right? The the superstar cause things. I mean, what I will say is that I feel like that has been happening through NBA history. So whether it's right or wrong, I think that is more accepted. In terms of that, the superstars will get, you know, a, a couple more phone calls or whatever. What I don't like is some kind of know on like somebody carry. I need them to cut on somebody carrying as like somebody traveling to, because I saw Jalen Brown did this for a second yesterday, and this thing, I no, it was against the Mavs, and Tim Hardaway Jr. looked on the ref like, you don't see this, like it is the inconsistency of calls like that. The same thing that you pointed out to, minimal contact. You the referees, then the teams challenging it and then getting it overturned. I think little things like even the technical fouls that are given and assessed, like the one thing that really annoys me, and this happens with Jason Tatum actually quite a bit. Jason Tatum gets hit on a play. I see this like 3 or 4 times. Jason Tatum get hit on a play, doesn't get the call, right? You see on the replay it's clearly a foul. He reacts to him not getting a call, and then he gets a technical when he was actually right. Like you can see, like every like even the like is a foul. Yes, everybody in the sea is a foul. He's reacting off of emotion, like yeah, I mean like that's a foul, and then he's assessed a technical. Like DeJounte Murray, yesterday got technical on the bench because he didn't respond to the referee. Like the referee was telling he just was sitting on the bench, like yeah, we ain't really got anything to talk about. And he got technical for that. Now the league has rescinded the technical, right? But that just goes to show you like some of these like technicals, some of these calls is the inconsistency of it, right? And I'm pretty sure a lot of us, I think, is gonna probably gonna tie into our next topic. I think that the ticky tack falls. I think they gotta let the defense play a little bit more. Like let the offensive player play through a little bit more contact. I think it's getting to the point where it's ridiculous. So I agree with you, Alan. Like it's more so the inconsistency of the calls too.
I got to tell you that when you got such large men on the court, you don't expect that. I mean, it's 94 feet and it's 10 large dudes. Somebody gonna get touched. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So if you ever start calling every little touch, you games will spend days to finish, right? Well, that just segue us into the next point, which is the NBA. Do they have a scoring problem? Alan, you figure?
Not really. I don't think so. The thing I hear a lot is that Adam Silver came in and kind of blew everything up and blew up defense and say, yeah, this score and that's it. But like probably even some of the guys, even in the comments or somewhere, to highlight the specific rule changes that have happened in the last, maybe since 2010, or I think when Silver took over in 2014, that have really led to this offensive explosion. I've been looking through. I have not really been able to find a ton of rule changes that you can say are like the smoking gun. Because in the early 2000s, you had illegal defense, and that was scrapped for the zone defense. Remember, you didn't have zone defense originally because zone defense was OP as far as they were concerned.
Yeah.
But they just had the 3-second rule of the key, and that helped to alleviate the zone defenses, and you can pay the zone defense. They enforced the hand check rule early in 2000s, which I think was good. And some of the other things that they did really since then to me haven't been as major. Is there more stuff around the game clock changes to make the game feel a little better, more stuff around replays. Some of the more major stuff is probably a long, clear path, which to me makes sense, where you have to allow players freedom of movement if they're on a particular path. You can't hold, you can't shove a guy out the path, which I think is fair.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're calling for 90s basketball necessarily, where you're just holding and pushing guys all over and some of the excessive folding. I don't think that's good, but I don't think there's been anything rule change wise that's really caused the scoring. The scoring has really been allowed the players. The emphasis on the 3-point shot, spreading the floor, spreading the defenses a lot thinner than they're used to dealing with. And defenses just haven't really caught up yet. You're moving from back in the 90s when you had basically Michael Jordan with the legal defense. He's on one side of the court. The other 4 guys on the weak side. And they have to commit fully to a double team. They can't play in space. And that's it. So it's basically a one-on-one matchup all the way through. The game was a lot more pick and roll and bending the defenses because of the pick and rolls and because you have shooting at all 5 positions. So I think that is more so responsible for a lot of what you're seeing right now. I think the 2 things you probably could do to help give defenses a little bit more power, like was kind of hinting before, allow defenses to play a lower defense, ease up on some of the marginal foul contacts, marginal fouls you're calling on marginal contact. And I'm not sure if there are any major rules you could do. You can probably allow guys to I would probably give them a little extra second in the key. Instead of 3 in the key, I'll probably give them 4, another second. And that might maybe help on some of the driving lanes, but I'm not sure that's going to make a huge difference because the 3-point shot is really the biggest thing. And I don't think you want to stop people from shooting threes.
Yeah. What about you, Keelan, before I comment?
I agree with Alan in terms of the offensive points. In terms of, I think the reason why the offense is we've seen such a large boon in offense over the last couple of years has been the 3 ball, right? Spreading the floor. I think like 6 of the last 8 offenses are like the greatest offensive like all time in terms of efficiency. Like the Celtics right now have like the 5th highest point differential, right? And they I think they're first in league in terms of 3-pointers, or like top 5 in terms of 3-point percentage. So you see the correlation between the booning in offense and the 3 ball, right? As I said, the calling more allowing more contact. I think that would help maybe in terms of cutting out maybe on the free throws or whatever. The one thing I will say, what maybe can be done, or what is an interesting point, in my opinion, is maybe the introduction of the taking away the defensive 3-second, right? So hear me out, right?
The full zone.
Huh?
Committed to full zone defenses then?
Not necessarily full zone, but like allowing the big man to maybe stay more in the paint at times, right? Obviously, you have to pick and choose because if you have a 3-point shooter, right? If you can just have another 3-point shooter, then obviously he would have to go out there eventually. Yes, that is true. But at that point, are you going to live with Luke Cornett, maybe from the Celtics? If he's going to score 30 every night because he can shoot 10 trees, I think teams will live with that a little bit more than other things. That is a quick example, because for the most part, it's not like bigs are completely staying out there. Like the best bigs in the league still operate down in the low post at times, like Jokic, Cat, Embiid, Kristaps. Like as much as he shoot trees, he's still throwing the posts at times. And the reason why I brought up that point is because there was an interview with Luka, right, with JJ Redick. And he said that one of the reasons why he thinks it's easier to score in the NBA is because of the defensive 3 seconds. Because what happens is that he actually waits until the defense leaves and then he times, because they have to be in and out. So when they're leaving is when he attacks, right? And because the NBA, like, that wasn't as big of a problem previously because obviously no 3-ball or the 3-ball wasn't seen as a big thing. So spacing wasn't really an issue. You could help and recover because you didn't really have to go as far. Now players are shooting from the logo. Players are shooting from so far out, right? That it spreads the defenses out that much that is impossible for the court spread out that much, and you can't stay in the key. You have to pick your poison. I was watching a video that was breaking down Luka versus the Celtics, and it was like he could just literally get whatever he wanted, right? Granted, the Celtics still won, but like 20. That just shows how good the Celtics are. But like it's really difficult because you have to pick your poison, right? Whereas if you have if you take away the defensive 3 seconds, I think it gives defenses a little bit more options in terms of maybe schemes and stuff like that. Like, so I think that could maybe be a thing. I don't think play zone in the NBA is a death sentence for a long period of time because the shooting is that good that it really want to make a difference in my opinion. And it's hard to play certain zones anyway with the defensive second. So maybe, but you know, that's just my thought. Maybe the defensive seconds could help a little bit in terms of certain schemes and stuff.
I agree. I agree with both points. But I also think, you know, the NBA is about entertainment.
Yeah.
Nobody comes to watch anybody playing good D. Right? People come to see LeBron score 40. He might get a couple of blocks. They don't mind seeing the blocks in between, but they would rather see him score 40.
Based on the All-Star game, I ain't too sure about that.
That is about entertainment. The NBA really is about entertainment, and I don't see them pushing in something for a defense to stop the offense. Right? To me, sometimes I wonder how these men is mixed. Because I mean, like, Luka is get whatever he wants. You know what I mean? Like, I say size. I mean, like, he torment your whole night. Right?
Yep.
I think Wemby has caused a little bit of problems because he is so long that although he might be outside of the key, you're still gonna be worried.
Yeah.
Right? So
his left disrupts everything.
Right.
Everything.
So I think that is what is about. It's about more about entertainment, and I don't expect the NBA will change anything offensively.
What I would say about the entertainment part though is that if you look at the All-Star game, that was all offense.
And people hated
defense. And people did not think that was entertaining. I think even the casual fan finds basketball more entertaining when there is a balance of offense and defense. I think before it was definitely too much defense. Yeah. Right now, the offense might be a little bit overpowered. So I do think that it might give you a more entertaining product if you do have a bit more defense into it. Not saying shut not the offense, but a bit more. It might actually be more entertaining to get a bit more defense in the game potentially.
Yeah, like I'd rather see like I'm okay. They're just me, and obviously I'm on social media a lot, checking like different takes and stuff like that. So, and as you said, a lot of people didn't like the All-Star game because they felt like it went too far into the offense. I'm pretty sure a lot of fans don't like the fact that it's not entertaining to see a team score 200 points scoring this like with open shots, right? But I'm pretty sure NBA fans would like, even if it was a 130-140 game with defense, because at the end of the day, these are the best players in the league. So they're gonna score over good to great defense, right? But like I'm pretty sure like even if it was because 130-140 is still a lot of points, But at the end of the day, if it's with against great defense, or it doesn't even have to be great, because obviously the All-Star game doesn't really count. 70% of effort, I'm pretty sure fans would like that, because I just say it's not the don't play like it's the NBA finals, right? But they play with more effort in the rec leagues, in like Drew League and Rico Hines and their scrims in the off season than they do in the All-Star game. So if the balance is a little bit more, it doesn't have to be 50-50. If it's right now, it feels like it'd be 70-30, but it was like 60-40, but 57-43. It might feel a little bit more entertaining overall.
I don't think also as much as 30 though. It's more like 3, but okay.
All right. Anyway, that is the NBA, and of course we cannot leave unless we do the pick 5. Last week, one Keelan Phillips, the Avenger only one, came out 3 on 5, and we were left with 2 on 5.
Yes.
So he got there, but this week we start on Tuesday. Phoenix at Denver. I going for Denver.
Me too.
Okay. Me 3.
Okay.
I like that.
And then on Wednesday, Sacramento at LA Lakers.
I pick against the Lakers last time. I paid for it, so let me go to the Lakers this time.
I gave me Lakers.
Well, I ain't gonna go with everybody 2 times in a row. As I pull it out, there's no logic behind it, so I just want to pick the Kings.
Okay, and then on Thursday, Chicago at GSW, Golden State Warriors. Chicago at Golden State Warriors. I get a few Warriors.
Me too.
Back to back, getting on a limb. Let me go tomorrow.
You gave it. All right.
Yeah.
On Friday, Miami at OKC.
Give me OKC.
Right, OKC.
Yeah. You're going to favorite, so you know OKC.
Yes. I ain't go Miami. And then on Saturday, Toronto at Portland.
Oh my God.
When they chose this game, I started to laugh.
I don't blame you.
Toronto at Portland.
I go Raptors.
Yeah, Raptors. All right. Keelan going Raptors.
Yeah.
Who are you, Alan?
A good Blazers.
You getting Blazers?
You see what happened, right?
I will let the guy for right? But because I know which one to pick.
You see right what happens is I had a good week last week, so I could go on a limb a little bit extra this week. Right?
All right. Okay. All right. That's good to hear. I will go with Portland. I ain't only going with Portland because I never really been in Portland before. So
there's a reason.
that is the NBA. And for right now, the court is adjourned.